Hi guys, greetings to you all, and once again I welcome you all onto the Stratford Africa channel. This is your man again, Hamza Suleiman, and in this video we are here today to talk about Manchester United and more precisely the coaching at the football club and Ole Gunnar Solskjear and his coaching staff and their shortcomings, and then also we will tie in the Villarreal match preview and bring this video to an end. So please get into the comment section and let's get interactive. Let me know your thoughts on all of the topics that we have lined up and many more to come. So as I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be the headline topic of this video, and his coaching staff. I think the coaching at that football club, you all will bear with me that it's not good enough, and we need to call that out. This man has been here for about 3 years now, and still we don't have a structure. I think people call, maybe you can say, a style of play, but I am more concerned about the team structure, the team shape, the shape of the team. It is non-existent for about 3 years now. When we have the ball, we don't know, we don't have patterns that has been coached into the team, that the team rely on to break things down. We don't have that. And when we lose the ball, we don't have a shape that we quickly fall into to try and win the ball back. We leave individuals on their own to try and do their own thing and then catch the other team on the counter. Except for counter attack that we can specifically relate with this team. Apart from that, there's no any other thing. So I think that the team shape and the team structure is the most primarily problem that we have. We understand, and that is not going to be the help us going forward, because now football is about systems, and all the other teams have systems that they rely on. They have systems that they have developed that helps to even cover up their players, some of their players' deficiencies, and facilitate their players' strengths. But we don't have that. It looks as if only just stand up, train the lads, put them on the field, let them play and wait for their individual movements and brilliance to happen for us to win games. You understand? So defensively, we don't have a shape, and attacking wise too, we don't have a shape. We see players are still diving into challenges here and there, and tracking back is not there to see. When we lose the ball, our wingers don't track back well enough. Our midfield is wide open. We don't play a lower block. We don't play a mid block. Our defensive shape is too wide. We leave spaces for the opponent to exploit, and that is why he keeps playing McFred. You understand? Because when we play like that and you have lots of spaces in between and behind you, you need people who are quick on the ground to cover up those spaces for you. So that is why he plays McFred every time, to cover up his lapses. You understand? So as I was trying and planning this show last night, I came across a tweet or a thread on Twitter by United Arena. He's a very good football account who does football analysis and stuff like that. And he mentioned this, and he said our defensive shape, as I'm saying, is not good enough. And his focus was more on the reason why we play McFred. And he even said that McFred is a painkiller to Ole. Ole uses them to kill the pain of our lack of defensive shape, but they are not the cure to it. So it's high time we look for a cure. When we get that cure, then we can now be better on the ball. And when we lose it, we can now fall back to that cure, to that shape, to that structure to help us win the ball back. And then from there, we can play on. You understand? So even going forward, we don't have a structure. We just play the ball to our forwards and hope that their what's the name? Their individual movements and brilliance shone through. In our last 3 games, we've been playing loads and loads of shots, which to me doesn't make any sense. The game against Aston Villa, for example, we came out of that game with Pogba playing more shots than Ronaldo. Fernandes had more shots than Ronaldo. Greenwood, for example, had more shots than Ronaldo. Plenty shots with a few on target. We have Ronaldo, who is one of the world's best goal scorers. So any amateur or any amateur coach or fan will think that, okay, now that we have Ronaldo, the plan will be to get the ball to Ronaldo, feed the ball into Ronaldo in and around the box, put good crosses for him to feed onto. But we don't play like that. We are just dependent on individual brilliance. So whenever Pogba has the ball and he's close to the 18-yard box, he thinks he can shoot from there because he can score a long-range shot. and he shoots. Bruno shoots. Mason shoots. Nobody is playing to any system, to any strategy, and the manager is standing on the touchline doing nothing about it. Greenwood was very selfish in that game. Not even once did he shout at him to stop playing shots and pass the ball. Just fucking pass the ball. He didn't tell him that, and he didn't substitute him too. We left Ronaldo up front feeding on nothing. Bruno and Pogba shoots from every angle because the manager knows that these are quality players and they can score from these angles, and that is what he lives on. He breathes on their individual brilliance. So when they are shooting, he's hoping that they can score, or one of the shots will get deflected and found itself into the back of the net, and then we can move on from there, which is not good enough. A lot of teams have structure now, and he came out the other day saying his style is attacking football, catching teams on the break, and that's how Sir Alex Ferguson used to play. Granted that was how Alex Ferguson used to play. I think football has moved on from that. Now every small team has a well-drilled system that it depends on, a system that facilitates the strength of their players and marks the weakness of their players. So in 8 times out of 10, a well-drilled system will always beat a freestyling side who wants to depend on the quality of his players. No matter how best world 11 you have, I think if you keep depending on their quality without any system, if you meet a team that is well drilled and understand its system, the players understand their rules in the system, they understand what to do with the ball, they understand what to do when they lose the ball to try and win it back. 8 times out of 10, this will beat a freestyling or an individual brilliant side. You understand? Look at the game Brentford gave Liverpool. They turn up and give Liverpool a very serious run for their money. I was watching that game and worried and thinking to myself, if this was Manchester United, we would have lost this game hands down. Because when Brentford have the ball, they know their strategy. They know that they are kicking the long ball out to Evan Toney up front, who will then bring it down or flick it onto his partner, and then the others join in and they play from there. When they lose the ball, they are all falling back into their shape to try and win it back. You understand? They are not leaving too much spaces in between themselves in midfield. You know what they will give you when they are on the field. But United, we can't best there. You really can't associate any patterns or any style consistent enough with them. Yeah, so I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should do that, and he should stop babysitting the players. He doesn't shout. I'm not asking for a Klopp or a Tuchel-like reaction on the touchline, but when Mason is refusing to pass the ball and keep shooting from ridiculous angles with better decisions to make, on the touchline you call him out and tell him to relax, calm him down, tell him to pass the ball first, or better still, you take him out. You understand? So it's either the manager is not coaching these systems or these things I'm talking about into the players, or the players are being given the instructions and they are refusing to abide by them or to apply them on the field. And in either case, it all falls down to the manager. If you're not coaching that into them, that's your fault. And if you're doing that and the players are not, applying or abiding by your instruction, you drop those players indefinitely. Because when the going gets tough, it is your head that the fans and the board are going to come for, not the players. You are the one in charge here. The ultimate responsibility lies on you. So if a player is not implementing your instructions, I think you have to drop them. And if you don't drop them, you are the one to be blamed. So in either of these two things, it is still Ole Gunnar Solskjaer who has to bear the responsibility. And he came out the other day also saying that he's not the one who is fully in charge of the coaching or the training sessions. He has dedicated a lot of that to the likes of McKenna, Michael Carrick, and Mike Phelan. Then I'm telling him that he has to start demanding accountability from those guys, or better still, change a new setup. Because this setup has been here for 3 years now. They've been coaching these players for 3 years now. And you say you trust them, they are very good, they are better than you at coaching, but we still don't see progress in the repetitive problem that the team show on the field. Do you understand? So I think Solskjaer has to either change his coaching staff or sit them down and demand accountability from them. Or if not, this season is their last season. They either deliver this season or serious questions are going to be asked about them. Yes, I am not only out because what is the point in you being only out? This board is not going to sack him now. They trust him. They believe in the project that he has built so far, which he has done brilliantly. The problem now is the next step. Has he hit his ceiling? Does he have what it takes to get the best out of these players? Because I don't believe just relying on the players' brilliance alone can win us stuff. Nobody believes that. That is not done anywhere. We need a system that will hide their flaws, which a lot of them have, and then facilitate their strengths. Things like that needs to be coached, and Ole has to get his coaching game right now, because the pressure is coming, and it's really building on. So that being said, I think that is what I have to say about Solskjaer. He should stop using painkillers and look for a cure. McFred are a painkiller to our lack of defensive shape, as United Arena said on Twitter, and I agree completely with him. The coaching is not good enough. No matter how much we like Ole or we love him, these things need to be said. Yes, if I back him doesn't mean I can't criticize him. Those who think if you criticize the manager, then it means you don't back him. No, even the likes of Pep Guardiola, them all still get criticized. So Ole is not about, objective criticisms. These things are clear for even the blind man to see. Brentford can turn up and put us to the sword because they have a system that they depend on. We don't have that. We keep leaving our defenders exposing them on islands. We brought Rafael Varane in thinking Victor Lindelof was our problem at the back, and then with Varane we are still letting in goals. You understand? We need a system. City knows how to press the hell out of you to get the ball back when they lose it. Liverpool knows the shape they fall into to win the ball back. Chelsea has their defensive shape. They have the shape they use when they are attacking. When they're playing out from the back, they know how to do that. You understand? As I said, with the Brentford example too, is that things like that needs to be coached into this system, into this crop of players, because we really can't depend on individual brilliance all the time. That can get you through a couple of games, but to win titles at the top level, you need to complement your individual brilliance with a very well drilled system, which is evident United don't have that yet. We don't have that yet. Even if, say, Alex Ferguson was here in this era and he was going to be playing as Ole is wanting us to believe that was how he played, I don't think he would have been successful in this era playing that way. He would have been forced to change, which he has always done in his career. If you really followed him very well, you see that he adapted a lot to build new teams, to adapt to face new challenges. So only trying to catch teams on the counter all the time, it's not going to work, because now teams are going to sit back and give you the ball and tell you to do your thing. You understand? They are not always going to be drawn in and then you catch them on the break. So we really need a well-drilled system. We need that. Coach some system and some patterns into them. And this season it's your season. This squad, you've built it, this is your squad. There's no room for excuses anymore. So we either demand accountability from both the players and your coaching staff, or serious questions are going to be asked about you and your job. You understand? So I think those are my concerns about Ole. We don't have a team structure, too much babysitting of the players, and he has to start demanding accountability from his coaching staff, because he told us he's not the one who's fully or 100% in charge of the training sessions. So those who are in charge of it are not doing something right. They are not. And the leadership on the touchline in games too, we don't see that. We can keep seeing Mason keep being selfish and not passing the ball and nothing being done about it. Pogba and Bruno are those who are supposed to create chances for Ronaldo to score goals, and they take it upon themselves to be shooting from ridiculous positions without any repercussion from the management or the touchline. These things doesn't help. You understand? So please let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section, and let's get interactive. So that being said, let's move our attention to the Villarreal game and do a preview of it. I think the game is going to be a very difficult game. Yes, that's unfortunate, but that is the reality. It's not going to be an easy game for us, because Villarreal are a team that are very difficult to beat. If you look at their record since the Europa League final, they've played 8 games, drawn 7, and won only 1. So they always almost play for a draw, and that is what they are going to come to Old Trafford to do. I wish I could sit here and say we will smash them and then avenge the Europa League final loss. But with the circumstance we find ourselves now and the way they play, I know how they play is how we are worried. Like when we come up against a low block, that is when our frailties is put to bear, and they will come up and they will give us a low block. And time after time again, we have proven that we don't have solutions when we come up against a lower block. So I'm not optimistic. I think it's going to be a difficult game. Yes, provided given that Villarreal are a team that are very difficult to beat. You understand? And for the past 5 times we have played them, history tells us that all those 5 meetings have ended in draws. And given the fact that Wan-Bissaka is on suspension, Luke Shaw is out injured, he might not be fit to play. Maguire might not be fit to play. So we are really going into that game with our team B, especially at the back. You understand? So coupled with the fact that we don't have a defensive shape, Villarreal can catch us on the break, and they are capable of causing serious troubles with that, especially with the addition of the Danjuma guy up front. I watched their game against Real Madrid, and he was a nightmare for the Real Madrid defense. You understand? They really gave Real Madrid a run for their money. Yes, so I think Oli will start McFred in that game. Yes, McFred is seriously, they are bound to start, because he's always trusted them to sort of bail him out when the pressure mounts. They will cover up, as I said earlier, the spaces and give him the work rate to keep it tight at the back, and rely on the brilliance of the attacking players to make a goal or two to give him a win and calm down the pressure. So with the pressures building up as it has now, I think McFred will surely start. And the game is difficult to predict. I don't know. I think to be a tight game, it's likely to end in a draw, and then also even if United will win it, maybe we will nick it 1-0 or 2-1 or something like that. Yes, because as for the low block, we will face the low block, and I have seen time and time again that whenever we come up against a low block, we really struggle, and we have no answers for that situation. You understand? So the coaching staff needs to get to work and improve some of these things. You understand? The team shape and the team structure is not good enough. We can't keep relying on individual brilliance. We need patterns and shape and structure to be coached into this team. The players need to rely on a system that will help them out in difficult moments. We can't play in tight spaces because we don't have any little triangles here and there. Our attacking structure is always in one line like that, no movement, nothing. Some of us are not coaches, but we see this thing game in, game out, and I don't know what the coaching staff has been doing about it. Because we watch some lesser teams who doesn't have good players, nowhere near as good as our players, and they turn up and they put up a show. But when they start playing, you know what they are about. You know what they are trying to do. When they have the ball, you know the patterns they are relying on. When they lose the ball, you know how quickly they fall back into shape. And you know if they are going to press high, they press high. If they are playing a low block, they keep it tight. Everybody falls into shape. But our play is too lackluster in almost all of the phases of play. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should up his game, either change his coaching staff or sit them down and demand serious accountability from them. And on the field, when the players start making the wrong decisions once, twice, thrice, he shouldn't fold his arms and sit down. He should rise up and call them to action, correct them. I've seen him do that a couple of times, but it doesn't happen well enough. That is what some of us are asking for. We are not asking for him to be doing the crazy stuff the likes of Simeone Dems does on the touchline. But Ferguson used to stand up and come at you straight and talk to you, shout out to you to stop messing around. Just tell you to fucking pass the ball. Oh, that was all he needed to tell Mason Greenwood on Saturday. Stop shooting. The guys are blocking your shots. Try something else. pass it first. Look to create a chance for Ronaldo to score. But we kept shooting. We have almost over 70 something shots in our last 3 games, with only about 10 of them on target. And the Aston Villa game, Bruno had more shots than Ronaldo. Greenwood more shots than Ronaldo. Pogba the same thing, more shots than Ronaldo. And I think Pogba on the left too doesn't work. You understand? So if you solve that team shape problem, then we can move Pogba back to the midfield and play a winger who can give us width, and then stretch the opponent's lower block to create spaces in the middle. But when you play Pogba on the left, he will always mostly tuck in, and when he tucks in like that, our attack becomes too narrow and it becomes very comfortable to defend against. You understand? And if we move Pogba back to the midfield with the shape we are keeping now, he's a liability there. He can't cover enough ground like McFred will do. So Ole prefer to keep his 2 defensive midfielders in front there. I can't believe we have Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Varane, and we are still protecting these guys with 2 defensive midfielders. All we just need to do is play 1 defensive midfielder, add an attacking midfielder, and then make sure when we lose the ball, we fall back in shape. The wingers track back well, the midfielders come close, and then we defend together as a team, win the ball back, and then we move. You understand? There's too much basic things in this football club that is not being coached well. Yes, we have to call it out. I am not only out, as I've already said, but the truth is the truth. The issues need to be talked about, and he's been here for a long time now, and this problem has been repetitive. It's not something that just came up last week or last 2 weeks. Since the time of Pereira, Dames were playing for him, we had that issue. Up until now, these issues still exist. So that is what frustrates some of us, though. You understand? So please let me know your thoughts about the preview and the coaching issues at the club, and what you think about it, and whether Ole is the man to take us back. I think there are huge question marks that needs to be answered, and that is by the end of this season we will know whether he can really deliver or not. As for the rebuild and the sort of squad he has assembled, brilliant. He's done well at that, but now we need the on-field deliverance, the tactical nuances that we need to outperform teams and win trophies at the top level. And for now, he doesn't seem to have that. He really doesn't seem to have that. We can just hope he will improve and change all of those things, because asking for him to be sacked is just not the point, because we won't get that anytime soon. So in the short term, as we are dealing with him, let's hope he improves, because if he wins, we all win together. You understand? So let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section once again, and please subscribe if you haven't. And until we meet again next time, have a nice time to you all, and stay safe out there. Bye bye.